President Trump dodged the question of whether he would sit down with special counsel Robert Mueller's team to talk about the Russia investigation, insisting repeatedly, as he has in the past, that there was no collusion between his campaign and the Kremlin.
We'll see what happens. I mean, certainly I'll see what happens. But when they have no collusion and nobody's found any collusion at any level, it seems unlikely that you'd even have an interview.
At a news conference, the president took another whack at clarifying his position on immigration, insisting that a wall on the border with Mexico be a part of any deal to protect the roughly 800,000 undocumented dreamers from deportation.
I really believe they're going to come up with a solution to the DACA problem, which has been going on for a long time, and maybe beyond that, immigration as a whole. But any solution has to include the wall, because without the wall, it all doesn't work.
That was an attempt to clean up his previous comment that signaled some flexibility on the wall.
This group comes back, hopefully with an agreement. This group and others from the Senate, from the House, comes back with an agreement. I'm signing it. I mean, I will be signing it.
Before the news conference,
welcome back to the studio.
The president basked in the praise he says he received from the news media after his televised meeting with lawmakers on the Dreamer issue.
It was reported as incredibly good, and my performance, some of them called it a performance. I consider it work, but got great reviews by everybody other than two networks who were phenomenal for about 2 hours. Then after that, they were called by their bosses and say, "Oh, wait a minute." And unfortunately, a lot of those anchors sent us letters saying that was one of the greatest meetings they've ever witnessed.
To back up the president's claim that he received letters from news anchors cheering his performance, the White House sent along a list, not of letters, but of video clips and tweets from journalists, some from CNN, applauding the openness of the meeting. Still, the president went on to complain that the coverage he's received is just not good enough, so he once again threatened to seek changes to the nation's libel laws, another threat to the First Amendment rights of the American free press.
We are going to take a strong look at our country's libel laws, so that when somebody says something that is false and defamatory about someone, that person will have meaningful recourse in our courts. If somebody says something that's totally false and knowingly false, that the person that has been abused, defamed, libeled, will have meaningful recourse. Can't say things that are false, knowingly false, and be able to smile as money pours into your bank account.
The president also took time to criticize the nation's judicial system, one day after a federal court in California temporarily halted his administration's plans to end deportation protections for the Dreamers. Mr. Trump tweeted, "It just shows everyone how broken and unfair our court system is when the opposing side in a case, such as DACA, always runs to the Ninth Circuit and almost always wins before being reversed by higher courts." The president also attacked Senator Dianne Feinstein, calling her sneaky, after the California Democrat released the hearing transcript from one of the founders of Fusion GPS, which developed a dossier that alleged widespread collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. Trump tweeted, "The single greatest witch hunt in American history continues. There was no collusion. Everybody, including the Dems, knows there was no collusion, and yet on and on it goes. Russia and the world is laughing at the stupidity they are witnessing. Republicans should finally take control." The president's tirades mask an apparent need for approval from the news media, something he touched on while looking back at that meeting on the Dreamers.
I'm sure their ratings were fantastic. They always are. Which is why I think the media will ultimately support Trump in the end, because they're going to say if Trump doesn't win in 3 years, they're all out of business. You guys will be out of business, but the boom holders are still going to be there, so that's good. Those are the people I like.